I'd have to see how it would drive
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I say
But
that. But
that's one of the beauty of living outside North America. You get to experience a lot more. Okay.
oh yeah,
So the future looks bright. It's continuing to change. One last question. Would you recommend what would you say to the younger generation who wants to get into mechanic work?
one thing that I remember an old German guy telling me that I work with was, if you're gonna do this for a living,
Mm-hmm.
you work on every car as if your mom or your girlfriend was gonna get in it and drive for 5 hours.
Yeah.
So you would want it to be safe, right, and proper, and done right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he told me that, because if not, then get out of the trade now, because there's no need for, you got to
Mm-hmm.
work as if it was your own car. That's what he
Yeah.
told me to, and
Yeah.
was right, work on it as if it's your own car. um there's a lot, again, the tools, there's a lot of money to be spent, and that's a huge investment.
Mm-hmm.
You could be spending money on stuff like, and I can't think of another trade that would cost somebody now, oh man, for a young mechanic buying stuff off the Snap-on truck or the Mac Tools truck, man,
Yeah.
you're to fill an average size toolbox with the
Mm-hmm.
toolbox,
With toolbox, yeah.
it's easy 25-30 G's. That's conservatively speaking, right?
Yeah.
Depending, again, small shop
Mm-hmm.
guys, you're going to need so much tools,
Yeah.
so much. Now, if you're working at a domestics, it's either, a lot of them now are still standard and metric, but
Yeah.
with all Toyota and mostly Honda and all the imports are always just metric, for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, right? And then you got Volkswagen with those weird 12-point, those crazy sockets and what have you, like inverted torques.
Yeah.
But just like tools, and then you're gonna start from the bottom, man. Just be prepared to do all the shit stuff. Take out garbage, go get coffee. That's another thing, man. I never liked that shit. They always make you go get coffee. They're like, that's part of the dues of, as you know, it
Yeah,
comes.
it's the initiation.
Yeah, and I get, that's why I say, like, when I first started, it was like you want to fit in, so you got to do whatever. It's like, I'll
Yeah.
do whatever. Just don't ask me to suck your dick, you know. But they're like, there's like guys that like expect you to be like their bitch all the time. Sometimes as a young guy working in a shop,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but don't do that. Like, you shouldn't have to do that, right?
Right.
And I get it. You got to prove yourself, because not, they probably don't believe in that you might even stay. So if you want to do this for a living, you gotta show that you really want to, and show incentive. Like,
Yeah.
don't just stand there and wait to be given something to do. There's another
Right.
thing the guys did when you're hourly as an apprentice. You can hide and go, and even then, I never had a cell phone I could text my girl on or anything like that, or FaceTime. Like,
Or FaceTime, yeah.
back then you had to call on a landline to go talk to somebody or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, do something. Like, there's a lot of times where, as an hourly kid too, as an apprentice, like, you got to look like you want to do, like, be busy all the time, or
Yeah.
go watch what the mechanic's doing when they got nothing to do for you. Like, I had no oil changes, I'd go hang out with the license guys, and I'd be like, hey, what are you up to? What are you doing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's how you learn. You gotta hang out with them and show incentive and initiative that you want to learn what they're doing. And for the most part, they'll teach you and they'll tell you how to do things properly, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you do it, right? If you're that kind, but if you're the type of personality where you're not really good at socializing, you have to be able to talk in this trade, man.
Yeah.
You have to be able to express yourself without being mad.
Mm-hmm.
Show that you're not weak either, as far as, like, stand up for what you think is right.
Yeah.
And just show that you like, as if you own the place. Like, not when I say own the place, but
Mm-hmm.
pick up garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I hate garbage anywhere, man. That's like one of my pet peeves. When I see garbage, or even if it's on my street or out anywhere in the public,
Mm-hmm.
like McDonald's bags, those things annoy me the most, man. And Tim Hortons cups.
Yeah. Yeah. The cups
Like,
everywhere. Go. Yeah.
you just ate your food and had your coffee. You can't keep it in your car or something until you get home, or throw it out in a proper.
Yeah. Yeah. And bins are everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no excuse, man. And so, having said that, I was the type of person, like, even still, I'll pick up garbage or even shop rags when they're all over the place. That drives me nuts too, man. You know, just like, and that's another reason why you got to be clean and cleanly, is like it's a safety aspect, a trip hazard when stuff's lying all over the floor.
Yeah.
You know, and again, like I said, you know, you'll start from the bottom, you get all the shit work. They might ask you to do like the crappiest of jobs that nobody wants to do, and that's okay. You gotta prove to them that you're worth the investment and them teaching you too. That's not just, you know, I want to be a mechanic. You teach me how to be a mechanic. Well, that's another thing I learned from these guys is you got to show that you're worth the investment for them to teach you too, and that you want to learn, right?
Yeah.
That you're not gonna stay for a couple of months or a couple of weeks and then leave, or stay for a year, get your license and leave, whatever. I mean,
right. And that's
not,
one of the biggest fears of dealership, because they want to know that if they're going to be investing in you, sending you back to school, and and getting all these experiences and know-how, and then after a while you get up and run. It's their loss. Yeah.
Unless you know somebody that knows somebody, and that's how it always is. You got to know somebody.
Know somebody. Yeah, that's the dealership environment right now, especially at the top. It's worse at the top. The guy who walk, you're there, and then you see a guy walks in, being introduced as a managing director, and then you ask him, now, what's your background? What's your experience? Oh, I was a used car salesman at such and such and such. And you're saying, what the hell are you doing here? Right? How did you get this job? More investigation reveal that he's a friend of somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. You get what I'm saying? He has no proven track record, no strategies, he have never been through the trenches, has no value added to the company, just come with his own style. He doesn't understand the brand's philosophy, doesn't understand their values, their mission, nothing. You get what I'm saying? And that's basically the person who comes in and destroys everything. Right?
Well, that's what I say.
Yeah, that's a cancer right there. You go and cancer is developed, but in the auto industry, I think that they go and look for the cancer and bring it in. So that's just my opinion.
It's almost meant like they want, you can't have, and I think this is partly true, you can't have a really nice guy being the boss. You know what I mean? Like somebody that's actually truly gets along with everybody, goes out on weekends, hangs out. You know, that's why, for the most part, the big guy that's running the show in the shop or at the dealership, I mean, is probably only going to hang out with one or two people, and it won't be a lot of mechanics. And if it is, somehow or another, there's something there that I don't know. You know what I mean? They'll probably just be with either salespeople or all the managers only. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not privy to any of that as a mechanic.
Yeah.
You gotta, unless you're part of that group and you're lucky enough to be in that circle, right? Because that's another thing, right? There's always so much.
Yeah. It's a culture, but because I don't know why mechanics are looked down upon, and a mechanic, if he's a master tech, he earns basically more than a manager. You get what I'm saying? If you're looking at it from an earning standpoint, but I think it's a psychological thing, because they back in the days they only saw a mechanic as a grease monkey. So I mean, I think that stigma is still around.
Yeah, and I think that's why, again, it's like a lot of guys either become the shop foreman or lead mechanic and or service manager or service advisor. Honest mechanics, you know, there's a lot of them out there, and I truly believe that. I think there's just a few guys that are just in this for one thing and one thing only, is the money. But you can make money without being a scam mechanic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can be an honest mechanic and still make good money, whether you're flat rate or hourly. You don't have to gouge people, sell brakes when they're 50%. You know, and that's what I say. Like, if most places offer the hourly rate for mechanics, they don't have to think of that gouging kind of mentality too when it comes to flat rate. You know, And again, get used to making that many hours. If you make anything less than that, you're not happy, because there's that many hours out there to be made, right? And then once you get used to that, that's all you want. But yeah, all right, man, we'll talk soon. Well, next time hopefully I can do another one, and
Oh, definitely. We have to sit down and continue this because I know you have more stories to tell us.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, actually, I'll start to try to keep some notes about even just customers, because
Yeah,
customers are funny people too. You got to get to know them,
yeah, yeah.
right? And as long as you got a good rapport with your customers, they'll want to come back too, right?
Right,
So
definitely. Yeah, yeah,
I kind of find that weird because, like I said, at first I didn't like talking to them about their cars and stuff because at the dealerships, that's what the service advisor is supposed to do. But in a small shop, now I got to talk to customers because
yeah.
they're right
Yeah.
talking, waiting for their
And
car.
yeah, and the aspect of working in a small shop is that it gives you more confidence. Working in a bigger in a larger environment, you come in, you grab your toolbox, you're just working on cars,
Yeah,
right? So you don't get
yeah,
to develop that interpersonal skills that's needed for when you grow older and you want your own shop. Then your personality has been developed into a more customer focused, customer centric
yeah,
individual, right?
yeah.
So the small shops has its perks, believe it or not. And
Yeah, I realize that now too, man. I maybe realized it too late, but
yeah,
hey, you're never too old to
never
learn.
too old to learn, man.
No, man. And I can. If you're not learning, even at my age, I still have a lot to learn. There's so much stuff out there. Again, now having working on, oh man, it's like going to school again. Because like, dude, I told you I drove the first time I ever got into a Benz or Audis and all these different European cars I never worked on
Yeah, a
before and
small
stuff.
shop.
Like,
Yeah,
so the sky's the limit when you work at a small shop. You got to get good at a lot of things, I think. And I wish I'd maybe done that and got that too. Because once you get in a small shop and you get in there for years and years, it's nice because it becomes family after a while, right? I
yeah,
think that's why a lot of small shops don't change. You'll see the guy's been there for 20 years, 25 years before they retire, right?
right.
So, but that's another story for another time of retirement.
Of course, Jojo. Oh man, oh man, oh man. All right. Thank you. And we'll definitely keep in touch.
Yeah, we'll do this again soon,
Oh,
hopefully.
very soon. Very
All
soon,
right.
Jojo. Very soon. All right. Have a good night.
You too, brother. Have a good night, man.